Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, we're back here in studio. We got Tyler Nguyen in the house. BlueGreyMortgage.com, mortgage expert, contributor, all things finance and mortgage. Reach out to the show. We'd love to talk to you, help you get those finances straight, get that pre-approval in place, maybe a cash out refinance, pay off some debt. And a really cool program, too, called Buy Before You Sell, an interesting type bridge loan scenario. We're going to jump in with Tyler from BlueGreyMortgage.com coming up here on the show. By the way, I'm teaching a class coming up over at GTAR. This is going to be Win with Sellers. One of the things I love to do is give back to the real estate community, a community that's given so much to me over the years, almost 20-year career. And when you look at giving back, it's one of my passions is coaching and helping people. So I'm teaching a class called Win with Sellers over on the 27th of March, and it's going to be 10:30 to 3:30. Greater Tampa Realtor Association, the auditorium there on Kennedy Boulevard. A lot of people have driven by that, and they see that on Kennedy there. But we're going to talk about some strategies, why you want to be the employer and not the employee, leads, listings, and leverage, objection handling, converting leads to appointments to contracts, and how to find the buyer. Of course, that's one of our strategies there with the Keller Williams team, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. So teaching Win with Sellers, high-level skills that create clients for life. And I remember when I was getting in the real estate business and kind of shopping different places to work at or hang my hat with, and so to speak, it's, you list your last. They always talk about getting listings. You list your last, Tyler, and that's one of the keys with that as well, and getting those pre-approvals in place. Let's touch on a couple of hot listings here before we jump into this content with Tyler. Also, Tyler's going to update us on the Hometown Heroes as well. Love this program with Hometown Heroes. But we got a property on Cedric here. This is a property right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. This is a 1.3 acre lot nestled along the Withlacoochee River. Walk-in closets, garden tub, screen porch as well. And Ridge Manor, Florida. This is 6203 Cedric Street, Ridge Manor, Florida. Hot listing from the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. Also, Juniperus is another property. Interesting name for this property, but it's 116 Juniperus Drive, Unit 41, Safety Harbor, Florida. 55-plus community, manufactured home in Briar Creek. This one is meticulous design for worry-free living. You have a modern kitchen with quartz countertops, high-end appliances. All plumbing has been recently replaced in 2022. You have new subflooring, high-efficiency air conditioning for comfort, 2022 water heater. Community amenities include pool, hot tub, fitness center, clubhouse, and a great opportunity to own real estate right here in Tampa Bay. Pet-friendly property, allowing you to enjoy the vibrant community. 116 Juniperus Drive, number 41, Safety Harbor. Greatest place to live, work, and play is in Tampa Bay, one of the hottest real estate markets in the country. And you can see all of our listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com. Check out PlatinumCoastalElite.com.
This is God's country.
All right, Tyler, welcome back in, man.
Thank you for having me, Brandon.
Hey, my pleasure. So what are you seeing out there in the market? It seems to be picking up. We put about 8 properties under contract within the last week, and
that's awesome.
It's a good market still. Sometimes people think, oh man, the rates, what's going on? And, but there's such a disconnect though with people getting news from bad sources, right?
Exactly, 100%. And I'm a big believer. I agree with you 100%. There's a lot of fake news about what's going on right now, but the interest rate, the market right now is picking up. Definitely, we see February a tick. I mean, this beginning of this year has been busy, So again, February is still pretty busy with applications, and we see people are just not wanting to wait on the sidelines as much as they used to, So, but yeah, it's a good market, and it's been busy.
That's great. And you mentioned, too, an uptick in refinance activity?
Yeah. I was mentioning to you earlier, we've been having a lot of inquiries where clients are pulling out equity of their property right now to buy another property, whether it's their next primary or investment property.
Yeah.
So we've been seeing an uptick in that right now. So, and that's one good thing about the past few years, right? We have a lot of equity in our properties now. So
yeah, exactly. It's here. I mean, this is it. And I love the idea of veterans, or even, let's say, for example, let's kind of walk through this. When you have a veteran, he takes 100% financing. He's able to buy a triplex or a quad and live in one side, rent out the other. I mean, what a great opportunity for people.
It's amazing. And then they're getting a little bit more flexible with those multi-units for people that haven't owned a home in 3 years or are first-time home buyer, where they could put 3.5% down or 5% or 0% with a VA financing. So
Yeah, I mean, that's something you can't do in the stock market, right? You can't.
No.
When you talk about leverage and you talk about the ability to, invest in assets, where else can you invest? For VA, 100%, right? Zero down.
Exactly.
But even as low as 3% down. So if you let's say a $500,000 asset, you're investing $15,000, 3% down, and you're controlling a half a $1,000,000 asset, and then you look at the appreciation, the write-offs, the the ability to insure the asset. So real estate is still the best asset class.
Yeah, and even in this past 2 years, right? Even last year, a lot of markets was in the decline. We were still up. We were still up like 4 or 5% appreciation. So it's still good.
But we're spoiled. People are still complaining about it, right?
Right, exactly. It's a positive number, so it's a good thing.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep. We're talking with Tyler Nguyen. He's with BlueGrey Mortgage. He's the branch manager there at BlueGrey Mortgage. Tell me a little bit about your team, because I know you got an awesome team. I was looking at your social media the other day, and I was like, wow, good job on some of these social media videos, because when you're able to have the marketing team behind you, you're able to have just kind of talking about the different graphs and charts. One of the videos, I was very impressed with it. I
appreciate that. Yeah, we have 15 loan officers on our team. We have three branches here locally, one in Clearwater, one in Tampa, one in St. Pete. So we have different locations. Very diverse. We have Spanish-speaking loan officers on our team. So I believe in diversity is key. So that's so it's been good. But definitely seasoned, and it's been a blessing. So we've been staying busy. So
yeah, that's great, man. Yeah. And so we're talking with Tyler now. Tell me about the hometown heroes, because a lot of people have a misconception, and it's not what it used to be, right? It changed a little bit.
It changed. It's more loose now. You just have to work for a Florida company, meaning and we had one where a client was a store manager for Macy's, but she was local in the Florida market. So she was able to get the hometown heroes. Currently, hometown heroes, they brought it back, and it's currently out of funds right now.
So it just ran out?
It just ran out, yeah. So it didn't take too long. It was I think $1.5 million or something like that. So that money went in 1 week.
Wow.
So
that went fast.
It did. So again, we're hearing that they're probably going to replenish probably in July another $100 million. So that'll be a good way to boost the summer in sales and whatnot. So
yeah, and a lot of the loan limits have increased too, haven't they?
100%. Yeah, conventional loans up to $766,000. Just rough estimate on that, and then FHA's at $498,000. And for VAs, if you're doing a veteran VA loan, it's a 0%, 100% financing at up to $1.5 million. So
wow, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize it was that high.
I know, it's nuts.
So a veteran can buy 100% financing on a $1.5 million home.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It is.
Wow.
It is.
We got to take care of our vets, though. I tell you, man.
100%.
We definitely got to take care of our vets. So that's one way. That's one thing our government did get right. You hear some of these stories about the negative side, but taking care of the veterans on the real estate side, that's a big deal.
Yeah. We love doing veteran loans. They have the best rate and term options. No mortgage insurance. I mean, it's a great loan for veterans. So.
What is the main differences when you talk to people about conventional versus a FHA? Yeah. What are some of the main considerations or differences that people need to know about? Yeah,
that's a great question. I would say the credit score. The credit score comes to the big factor when it comes to the underwriting process. So usually for us, my rule of thumb is anything under 680 FICO score, I'll probably lean, or even 700. I'll probably lean towards FHA financing just to give them that better monthly payment, meaning the interest rate's going to be better. The monthly mortgage insurance could be better, so those are the reasons why.
And the Federal Housing Administration, FHA, is it guaranteed or partially insured by the FHA? Is that what it is?
It is. So yeah, with the FHA financing, you do have a government funding fee of 1.75% of the loan amount, and that's rolled into the loan. So it's not an out-of-pocket expense, but that is something that's rolled into the loan.
Okay. Yeah. And that's not one of those fees that actually drops off after a certain amount of time, like the PMI, right? The PMI is the one that's unconventional? Yeah, unconventional.
The mortgage insurance is dropped off after a certain amount, under a 78% loan to value.
Right.
So, I'll give you a story. In 2020, one of our borrowers, they bought a house, and probably the following year, let's say maybe January of 2022, they were able to remove their mortgage insurance with the conventional financing because they had so much equity built in the past few years, right? So you don't have to wait a whole 7 or 10 years to take that off when you're on a conventional financing. So
Yeah, there's no set period of time. It's
No.
just the amount of appreciation.
Exactly.
So you get an appraisal done, boom, now that you're 78%, that risk is now removed.
Yes.
So yeah, so it's a win-win. I was talking to a friend the other day too, and mentioning that moved from I think it was New York to Florida.
Yeah.
Bought a condo in, I believe it was downtown St. Pete for $1.5 million. So that was like 3 years ago. Just recently had a new appraisal, almost doubled.
That's crazy,
it's up at like
isn't it?
2.4 now, 2.4 million.
Ridiculous. Definitely better than stocks, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And you know, because when you look at some of these games that the stock, you know, Wall Street plays, right? You got this what was that trade, that GameStop, you know,
That's crazy.
the Enrons,
Yeah.
the Sam Bankman-Frieds, you know. I think even Tom Brady got caught up in that
He
one.
did. Yeah.
I heard about that. Yeah, that's interesting. If you just joined us, folks, we're talking with we're talking with Tyler Nguyen, BlueGreyMortgage.com. Check him out online, BlueGreyMortgage.com. And we're talking about real estate, talking about mortgage, and the importance of getting that pre-approval in place. Let's jump into that buy before you sell. This is a unique product.
It
right?
really is. Yeah, we started offering that last year, and it's a great way. You know, I think this past few years, sellers are on the fence of maybe buying another home, you know, before they list their home. So we ran into that a lot. So, and then we also ran into where they didn't have enough down payment yet because they needed to sell their current home to use that down payment for the next purchase.
Right.
So with the buy before you sell, it lets you pull out 75% loan to value of the equity of your home right away.
Okay.
And the neat thing about it is you don't have to make any monthly payments, right? And you know you have 3 months after the closing of your new house to sell the property. So and you can list the home right away, right?
Okay.
So that's a great thing about it. So definitely, you know, it's a flexibility where you can use the equity right away for the down payment for the next home.
Yeah. Wow, that's interesting. That's that's going to help a lot of people because that's a challenge for folks when they're moving from one home, moving to the next.
Exactly.
But when I'm under contract here now. When can I buy? Whoops! Did the appraisal come in? Like they're on pins and needles up until and you know here's a point to make too. Is you see some realtors that don't pay attention to that financing contingency date.
100%.
That's got to be days before the closing date, right? Because that's when you get the story of like, hey, all of my stuff's in the moving van,
right?
And I'm sitting here, I'm ready to close, but something happened, last minute problem. You know, maybe they went out and bought a car during the finance process. That can throw off the rate, right? I've had you know folks die during the process. I mean, all these different things happen. But talk to me about that because you want to make sure that financing contingency date is how many days before the closing date would you recommend?
Yeah, that's a great question. I've seen so many deals and so many realtors that are not paying attention to that where it can cause the client to lose their escrow deposit. So I would say at least 10 days, 10 to 5 days, 5 days pushing it, but 5 days is something that I would say is probably the max that you would wait. You know?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, because again, you know, that contingency period protects you, you know, during the loan process. God forbid something happens, right? You lose your job or something happens, we can give you a denial letter where you can get your escrow deposit back.
Exactly. Yep. Okay, good stuff. Tyler Nguyen, BlueGreyMortgage.com. Check him out online. Taking a quick break, coming back. We're going to talk more about some other programs. I want to talk a little bit more about the investor side of real estate and loan programs, as well as USDA, sometimes little known or sometimes often overlooked program as well for rural properties, 100% financing as well. Coming up here, more with Tyler on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider who shares your values. They offer the very best nationwide coverage on 4G and 5G LTE networks and exceptional 100% US-based customer support. Patriot Mobile offers discounts for veterans and first responders, NRA members, and families with multiple lines. Learn more at patriotmobile.com/consumerqb. That's patriotmobile.com/consumerqb. Or if you'd like to give us a call, you can reach out at 727-263-3707. That's 727-263-3707. And we'd be happy to tell you more about Patriot Mobile. Selling commercial, vacant land, or residential properties? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. You can reach me at 727-263-3707. Call or text 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here in studio with Tyler Nguyen from BlueGrey Mortgage. Check them out online, bluegraymortgage.com. All of our experts, by the way, are at consumerqb.com. And we want you to think about our show as the hub of your financial wheel, your real estate, mortgage, title, all the different aspects in business and finance. Think about our show as this #1, your super connector in a sense. We want to connect you to all of our different expert contributors, auto industry expert, boating, yachting, private pilot. We took a trip down to Key West yesterday with Captain Will Smith Aviation, self-defense experts, 2A experts, doctors, financial advisors, home staging, so many different ways, all different types of attorneys as well, with criminal defense, divorce attorneys, estate planning, tax planning attorneys, so many different ways we help you here. ConsumerQB.com. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors. And I tell you what, it really makes my day when I get to talk to our audience and get to talk to our listeners out there. It really makes our day. ConsumerQB.com. And quick shout out to our friends at Discovery Golf Cars, longtime friends of the show. I love plugging them and having these conversations around golf cars. So they've got the Easy Go, the Star EV, Cushman. They offer new and used. They also have the golf carts available as well. DiscoveryGolfCars.com. You can check them out online. DiscoveryGolfCars.com. My boys like to go for a ride on the cart. My two dogs, my poodle mixes, and then of course my young boy now, Brady, 2-year-old. He loves to get on there, and he's pretty close to driving now. He's turning the wheel. He's turned the wheel a little bit. He has a good time on there. All right, a couple of hot listings here. We like to feature our real estate listings. 2907 North Florida Avenue is a commercial property here in Tampa Bay. This is just under $3 million. 2907 North Florida Avenue, 12,000 square feet. You have a 3/4 acre lot, corner lot location, close to downtown Tampa, and just a great opportunity. Open warehouse where you can store any type of materials that you're looking to sell, maybe furniture, maybe it used to be a fishing store, by the way, fishing outlet with all different types of merchandise. You got 3 offices up front as well. Two big buildings, one large building and a smaller building. The smaller building is rented out around $6,500 a month. So you have passive income built in on this commercial property. 2907 North Florida Avenue in Tampa. Another one of our commercial listings from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And we list all types of properties, vacant land, residential, commercial properties right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. 6441 4th Palm Point, St. Pete Beach. I love this listing. This is from Aaron on our team. 3 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2,000 square feet. This one is 6441 4th Palm Point. 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2,280 square feet. Stunning views of the Boca Ciega Bay. Split level floor plan, spacious kitchen. You have a fireplace, hurricane rated windows. Close to the beach. Of course, you could take your golf cart or walk right over to the beach. And I love this view out your living room. You open those sliders up and you almost have one of those infinity edge views looking from the pool out into Boca Ciega Bay. You have a private boat dock, boat lift, and a private backyard. You can see all of our listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com. Check out PlatinumCoastalElite.com.
This is God's country.
All right, we're talking with Tyler Nguyen on the Consumer Quarterback Show. He's branch manager with BlueGrey Mortgage here in Tampa Bay. 3 different offices throughout the Bay Area to service clients. And talked about the USDA right before the break. Can you explain that one to us?
Yeah, USDA is a great product too. That's one of your opportunities to do 100% financing, 0 down. It has to be considered in a rural area, and USDA has a great website where you can plug in the address on their map and see if it's approved. But certain areas like Waimama, for example, Spring Hill, those areas where it's considered rural, and
Yeah.
so it's pretty great. And what happens is a lot of people don't know is, say for example, you buy the house for, let's just say, $300,000, and the appraisal comes back $310,000. You can actually roll your closing costs with that equity.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yep. So we had one great story that a client was buying a short sale at that time, and she ended up doing 0% down, and then her appraisal came back like 15,000 higher. So she rolled all her closing costs in with low interest rates.
That's awesome. So she got in with zero out of pocket.
It's pretty much with equity in the house.
Wow, with equity, walking in equity. That's cool. Yeah, in other areas, I know like Zephyr Hills has certain areas, certain pockets. So it's just got to be deemed rural from the USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture. USDA loans don't have to be a veteran for that one. That's 100% financing non-veteran as well. So let's talk a little bit about the pre-approval process, because sometimes you have people. I take the sign calls a lot of times. We're getting the phones ringing. We got 60 listings, so of course our phone's ringing all weekend, and people call up, and one of the first things we want to make sure is that they're pre-approved, and in some cases they're not, and a little bit hesitant to do so. Talk to us about the importance of getting that pre-approval in place.
Yeah, and I say a lot of clients, they tend to do things backwards. They like to go look at the house first before they get pre-approved. And but yeah, I would say pre-approval is very important, and I say that should be your first step of the process if you're planning to buy a home. And the reason why is, we'll get all your information, like your income, where you work at currently, how long you've been there, right? We'll check your credit history, and then, what your monthly payments look like, what your monthly liabilities look like, right? So that way we could project that, hey, you do have and you do qualify for this program.
Yeah, that's great.
And again, we only do a soft credit check with our services, so that's something that has been a win-win situation for clients. And us as well, because everybody sometimes are hesitant to pull credit, right, or do an application because, hey, I don't want it to affect my score. Right. So it's a great way to, hey, do the soft credit check where we understand what the credit score is and understand what the monthly liability is.
What is the difference between a soft pull and a regular, full pull where you're in underwriting and everything?
Yeah, that's a great question. The hard pull, it actually affects your credit score, right?
It does?
And, so again, it does. It's a hard pull and it's a hard inquiry where, again, if you were getting, say you applied a few different mortgage companies, there's that window usually where it doesn't affect your credit, but say you keep on checking it throughout like the couple months, it could hurt your credit. And so again, the soft credit check just gives us a better idea. We can't do anything with it as lenders. We just we can't lock the interest rate in for you without doing a hard pull. So that's probably the biggest difference.
Is it a single merge versus a tri merge? Is that a thing still?
Yeah, that's a great question. So with the soft pull, we actually can do the tri merge. So we'll get TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian.
Okay. Yeah. That's interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've always wondered that.
Yeah.
I'm learning stuff on my show here.
No, you're doing great.
Condos. Talk to me a little bit about condos, because I know there's some unique things you need to think about with condos.
Yeah.
What are you seeing out there?
So condos, a lot of times it requires a conventional financing. Now, I'll tell you a crazy story. I have done a VA condo financing before, so it is out there, but it has to be an approved VA, by VA pretty much. Okay. So there's some stipulations that they have to go through with their condo association, but condo's a different animal. It is a different animal when it comes to financing. Usually if you're buying as a primary residence, less than 25% down, you're putting 20%, for example, it's a full condo review, which that means is, hey, the lender's going to want to internally reach out to the condo associations, check on their reserves and budget, see if there's any open litigations, and see if there's any major structural issues or whatnot, any repairs, right? So those are the things that they look at when it's a full review. Right. But a lot of people don't know is if you put more than 25% down, it's a limited review. Okay. So it's a little bit more flexible when it comes to, hey, if they don't have, like they're almost there, but they don't have enough reserves, they'll let that, pass.
That's a pro tip right there from Tyler Nguyen. You look at that because it's less risk. The more money down equals less risk, a translation there. Yeah. How do you want people to connect with you, Tyler?
Yeah, my phone number is 813-767-5020. I'm a little old school. I like the phone call, but you definitely can text as well.
Do that number again.
813-767-5020.
Got it. All right, good stuff. And the website, BlueGreyMortgage.com. Yeah. Thanks for coming in, buddy. We covered a lot of ground there. That's awesome. Hey, another great show. I want to thank Michael M.D., Tyler. I want to thank Ryan and Alex, the producers. And we want you to please go out there and please consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And we'll see you right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.